Oh yeah, you mentioned H1Z1 to me earlier, but like I've heard about it. I know a fuckload of people play it. What is it?
It's a lot like it's a battle royale game, so very similar
Fortnite.
to Fortnite, yeah, or PUBG. I played Fortnite for a few nights and it wasn't really my deal. And so I was like, well, this one's free too, and it's free, and I'm a cheapskate, so I was like, this one's free too. And I downloaded that, and I was like, oh no, this is me. Like this is way more my speed.
Is it like more grown up, for lack of a better word? Like I know that a lot of the characters and the
Yes.
avatars and shit in Fortnite look real cartoony. I hear this one's more realistic.
Yeah, there's not really a character or anything. Like it's you rarely ever see your own face. Like you don't.
Oh, it's first person type shit, or no? It's
It's
still third
like
person.
it's like over the shoulder.
Okay, okay.
So um, yeah. I mean, and then I got Austin into it, so me and him been playing duos.
Are you good at it?
Uh, we're getting there. They change stuff constantly on it. So like, one gun will be my favorite one week, and then like I'll learn like with an update it got nerfed or something, and then the
Yeah.
next week I don't like it so much.
I suck. Pretty much at games in general, but definitely at Fortnite. Like I am not good at Fortnite, so yeah. It's like I try new shit, and then I'm like, I'm not automatically good at this new shit. I don't like this new shit. I'm going to play Donkey Kong Country. Fuck
Yeah.
you guys.
Yeah, I'm gonna go back to playing zombies and Fallout or Call of Duty.
So, what's up, everybody? Welcome. I'm Jeremy, and movies are terrible. And joining me here is a very special guest, returning superstar of former The Weekly Pop Movie Podcast, good friend and fellow co-host of Terrible Movie Trivia at Pensacon for the 4th year in a row. What's up, Huston Hawkins?
What's up, Internet?
How you been, man?
4 years now. We've done that for 4 years now, you say.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
It really is. I can't believe, dude. Like I went down memory lane the other day, and I was watching some of the older content that we did, and it's interesting. Like a lot of people, just as a general rule, like the more time and energy and effort you put into something, typically the better you get at it. But in my situation, I think I peaked like years ago, dude. To be honest with you.
I think after year one, we started thinking about it way too much, and it just
Yeah.
all went downhill from.
Fuck yeah, dude. No joke. No, we just have fun now, though. It's totally different, man. You remember it used to be like I wanted it to be so structured and stuff, and then earlier you were like, "What are we talking about?" I'm like, "I don't know. We'll Google it. We'll try to find some shit to talk about because it's not like we've ever had a
We'll
problem
figure
having
it out. Yeah.
conversations before, you know." But I'll
I would
never
say we're really
forget.
good at switching gears in the moment. And
Yeah,
so, like, even the first year when we were like, we want to structure this and this and this, like, when it started, we were just like, fuck it, let's go.
roll with it.
Like, just keep rolling with it this way.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I'm excited about it. There's some good guests this year. You gonna try to get a chance to say what's up to William Shatner?
I don't know. I don't know if the Shatner will be in my budget or not. I might just try to wave from him from across the room or something if they let me in.
Maybe we'll run into him at the bar later. But I mean, are you we've talked casually about this. You a Star Trek guy? Are you like a fucking diehard original Star Trek series guy?
Nope. I mean, not really,
Yeah, me
like nothing
neither.
against it. Like I get it. I know when people like it so much, but I'm not. It's not one of my major fandoms, I guess, as you can say.
Yeah, I think people that like it are ignorant. It's weird. No, I'm just kidding. Love
I
you
was like,
guys. Love you guys. Actually, I think Star Trek might be the slightly more intellectual group, especially after The Last Jedi. Jesus Christ. Us
oh,
Star Wars
yeah,
fans are
Star
really
Wars.
showing our asses. Anyways, we got some fun stuff to talk about. We got some not so fun stuff to talk about, but kind of talking about pop culture icons and people like William Shatner. Actually, we were fortunate enough to see Nichelle Nichols a couple years ago at Pensacon. It was the same year, sadly, that Spock died. Leonard Nimoy died.
Yeah, he died. What was it, like 2 days before she went to Pensacon?
Yeah, like literally right there in the same amount of time. And, 2 days ago, we lost Stan Lee, 95-year-old Stan Lee, the the poster child for essentially this whole entire movement that we're in the middle of right now. And you know, I got a couple different ways I want to approach this, but I mean, first of all, dude, just general thoughts. How do you feel about the loss of Stan Lee?
I mean, for like, nobody's gonna be stoked about this. Marvel lost its Walt Disney.
Yeah, wow, that's a good way to put it, no doubt.
Like, you know, it's been seen. I remember the first. I remember the first X-Men VHS tape I had, the Uncanny X-Men. It was like a cartoon, like the intro to the cartoon, and he did the opening and the intro and the closer just to audio. He's like, you know, and just kind of going on. I was like, who is that? Every time I heard his voice. But yeah, it sucks. I mean, there's nowhere else to say this is crap. We're all pretending like I'm trying to pretend like it didn't happen.
Yeah, man. You know, he was 95 years old. One of my favorite things that I saw on social media is like, oh God, Stan Lee died. Oh, what happened to him? Well, he was old as fuck. He was 95 years old is what happened to him. He lived a fantastic life, you know, and not to undersell it, but like it is a tragedy that he's gone, but it was a fucking, in a way, a blessing that he was around as long as he was, you know. He did really he was a spokesperson for this whole entire movement. He was such a excited, like really just energetic, positive person. He was going around to Wizard World conventions last year, dude. Yes, and still doing the picture thing and treating fans like really well, remembering names and all of this kind of stuff. And for all of those things, I mean, he is an icon. There's a couple things that now that we've got like just the straight up positive stuff out of the way, and I think kind of both spoke on that side of it. There's a lot of controversy that went along with Stan Lee's life also, and obviously don't want to drag a man's name through the mud, and we'll come back around to the actual impact that his life had. But we found out right before he was dying that like his like accountants and lawyers and shit were literally robbing him blind. Did you hear about that?
When don't they do that?
That's fair. That's fair. God, all right. Now that you say that, let me get some specific information. You cynical bastard. You're 100% right though. Like, when do they not do that? Stan Lee's.
But just watching the outpour of like the. It's not like, you know, everybody else, like they'll share a post about somebody dying or whatever else. This is not that. This is, people are completely heartbroken. Like, you're seeing, you know, just this artwork of like, I saw one where there's Thanos standing in front of his tombstone.
So good.
And he was saying, is it okay if I use the, what did he say? Is it okay if I use the time stone?
Mm-hmm.
Like, he was, and I was like, you're not going to see this with every other person who kicks the bucket. Like, you know, people, it was everybody's grandpa.
So, dude, then there's this thing like, Americans, maybe the rest of the world, we have this obsession with death. Like, I don't want to throw out any names, XXX Temptation, but like all of a sudden these fucking people come onto the scene, and just because they die, we're supposed to give a shit about them and commemorate them and all of these kind of things where, you know, there have been some very substantial hits, but, you know, as far as people that really did mold and influence our lives in a lot of ways, like your Carrie Fishers. But then there does also seem to be this just kind of, I don't know, I think it's kind of a reflection of our own mortality, but where people do seem to put dead people up on a pedestal. Like when you go to a funeral, everybody gives a positive eulogy. They're not like, well, he was pretty cool for the most part. Sometimes he had a real fucking chip on his shoulder, and he used to beat the dog. You know what I'm saying? Like, you only ever get the positive side of stuff in eulogies. And I think that's kind of one of the things that happens with dead people. And before Stan Lee died, I was somebody who was a pretty outspoken advocate for Jack Kirby and for Steve Ditko. Where do you stand on that side of things?
You know, I kind of
That's some
sounds like
deep shit, isn't it?
another,
Sorry.
another cynical thing, because I'm like, I wasn't there.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I don't know exactly what they were saying or what the whole deal was and everything else, and that was, and you can also make the argument, like, without Stan Lee, would Marvel and everything else be as big as it is?
Yes, and I think both of those things are valid. So for those of you guys who may not be it's on the inside track, what happened is Stan Lee has pretty much consistently gotten the credit for being the creator of Marvel, the creator of several of the most iconic comic book characters, everybody from Spider-Man to the X-Men to, I mean, just pretty much anybody you can think of, Black Panther, and there's always been a lot of debate and discussion among comic book fans, is it the concept artist that creates the characters, or is it the writer of said characters? Stan Lee was a writer. He would come up with the concepts. He would say, I got this really cool idea. I kind of need you to hit these beats. Jack Kirby would go in. He would draw the panels out. He would do all of the illustration, the coloring by himself, leave the speech bubbles open, and then Stan Lee would go in and fill in the speech bubbles. And there is value to that. And I say that as just one part of what you said, to come back around to what you said. Despite all of that, Stan Lee was able to sell this image and this brand in a way that nobody else could. An artist and an inker are not necessarily the same skill set as somebody that can go out there. That's a very good comparison. Yes, that's a very good comparison.
Another thing, you kind of mentioned that, like, we put death on a pedestal, and I don't actually think it's just us. I think it's also marketed, because the one thing that sells the most is death.
Yeah.
Michael Jackson kicked the bucket and his Blu-ray went platinum.
100%. I mean, you look at Kurt Cobain, you look at so many times throughout history.
And the people who own the rights, own the publishing rights and everything else are doing this. Oh, yeah, thoughts and prayers, but
yeah. Yeah, 100%. And that's a lot of what we were seeing happening to Stan Lee towards the end is basically, like, it got bad. Millions missing, elder abuse allegations. The last days of Marvel's wizard Stan Lee have been mired in controversy. His daughter speaks out for the first time. I don't want to go through the whole thing, but basically it just says a lot of the people that were supposed to be taking care of him were extorting him. One of the most bizarre parts that I heard is that they drew his blood against his will, and they were blood spotting Black Panther comic books and selling them for ungodly amounts of money on eBay.
On eBay?
Isn't that fucking crazy?
Jesus Christ. That's like, I thought you were going to tell me, like, the black market.
You would think. Yeah, man. It is so bizarre. And it just shows, though. Yeah, people... elder abuse, I think, is a good part of it. But anyways, yes, there was controversy. I guess the reason why I bring all of that up and the thing about the eulogies and everything is we're all complicated people. We live in this world, in this climate right now where it's so much easier to finger wag and be like, that person said something offensive, or that person hurt somebody's feelings a long time ago, or that person didn't live their entire life perfectly. We should shame them for that. And I think, like, everybody's life is complicated. There's good, there's bad, and everything in between. But the lasting legacy that Stan Lee left behind, I think, is worth. I mean, the impact can't be overstated.
Yeah, absolutely.
One more weird thing before we move on. You remember that the first cameo that Stan Lee did was in fucking Kevin Smith's Mallrats?
Okay.
Do you think that Kevin Smith is inadvertently responsible for the birth of mainstream nerdism?
No, but in a way, he definitely helped it. Like, he made it kind of okay to be the fat nerd.
Yeah.
Dude, he was like, yeah, I'm gonna do all these great movies, and I'm gonna buy my own comic shop.
Was there that guy before that, though?
What's that?
Did that guy exist before that?
Who?
That prototypical guy that was able to be both cool and like a skater and like a kind of urban hip person.
Cool.
Right? Yeah.
But was it really cool? You're just a creep. You're just creep living in your mom's basement collecting
Yeah.
comics.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, I thought that was interesting when I was thinking about it earlier. But yeah, so anyways, rest in peace to Stan Lee. We will go ahead and transition on to some stuff that I'm excited to talk about on Movies Are Terrible, considering it's really not even movies in the first place. But we got some pretty exciting. Oh, one other dumb thing I wanted to bring up real quick before we move on is Army Hammer came onto Twitter and basically like blasted a bunch of celebrities and a bunch of people for tweeting pictures of themselves with Stan Lee and said that they were trying to make it about themselves. And then Jeffrey Dean Morgan came out and was like, bro, you just now tweeted about all these people taking Stan Lee's death and making it about themselves. What did you just do?
Yeah, dickhead.
All right, moving on. That's it. Just wanted to throw that out there. Good job, Army Hammer.
I'm kind of with Jeffrey Dean Morgan. Just hey, just shut up. Just go back inside your Hollywood mansion.
Yeah, good job on Zorro, douchebag. No, I'm just joking.
and that other shitty movie you made for
The
Disney
Lone Ranger, right? Yeah, that's the one I meant. Same deal, same fucking difference. All right, so
I did like Man from U.N.C.L.E., the new one.
Oh yeah, no, that was good. He was a good Russian guy in that. So dude, are you gonna get the Disney streaming service? I mean, you got to, right?
No.
No, you've boycotted it.
No, I like for what? I got a crap. Like, seriously, I got a crap ton of VHS tapes in here. Like, I've almost all the Disney movies we could want to have, and besides that, my kid likes the old stuff. He likes Rescuers Down Under. He likes,
Are you sure that he doesn't like that just because you only have VHSs in the house?
No, he has other ones and he avoids them. Like my dad bought him Incredibles 2. It's in the kitchen right now.
He's not into it.
And like we gave him the option, you want to do Incredibles 2 or this? And he was just like, I'm just gonna grab my PS3 remote and go watch Rescuers Down Under. I'll see you later.
There you go. That kid's got taste. Taste.
I don't know. Like, what are they trying to charge for that jazz?
I don't know that, but I do know that I'm a mark for this shit because I know what you're saying, bro. Like, there are so many things already out there to make or to watch, but there's not a Loki miniseries, a fucking 8 or 10 episode Loki miniseries with Tom Hiddleston, and then they've got a Scarlet Witch miniseries with the actual actors from that. They've got a Bucky and Falcon miniseries that's coming out. They've got The Mandalorian, which is a Jon Favreau written Star Wars series starring not Diego Luna, the guy from
Pedro Pascal.
Yeah, Pedro Pascal from Game of Thrones. So I'm like, I am reluctantly going. I mean, I'm begrudgingly going to get this. I'm going to be mad every second at myself.
They should
got
give you
me
a free one because I think you may have just sold me on that.
It's right.
they need to give you a comp one. But I tell you what though, because I'm a theme park nerd. Also, if I find out they're putting like behind the scene documentaries of like theme park stuff
you're in
on there, in a minute.
Yeah, and they're
sign me up for that free week right now.
Yeah, exactly. That it is getting to the point that and I've heard people speculate before, but like it's getting so outrageous. There's going to be some company that comes along and offers to bundle all of the different streaming services for X amount of dollars, where you're getting it at a discounted rate, and then we're right back to where we started, and that's fine. But I hate that what everybody's doing is pooling their content back over to their specific streaming sites. So now it's like, if you want to watch Marvel, you've got to go to Disney. If you want to watch Batman or Teen Titans, you've got to go to the DC streaming service.
The first season of an ABC show, you got to go to the ABC site. You got to
Yeah, it's frustrating. It's very frustrating. And I mean, they've got us. Dude, everything is
Here's one thing, in
now.
my opinion, like recently, that Disney is really good about. If it doesn't work, they don't beat it dead.
Yeah, except for the live action fucking what was that last one they put out? Nutcracker and
oh yeah,
whatever.
Well, I mean, to be fair, did Beauty and the Beast make money?
Oh yeah, gangbusters. You're not wrong about that.
So they want to make that Christmas money.
Yeah.
they want the warm and fuzzy money.
Yeah, you're not wrong. And eventually they're gonna own the entire studio system. I mean, the entire theater chain, man. Like, I went to see Overlord the other night, and it's just ridiculous how much of the trailers that come out that are associated with one or the other. It was dope, dude. It was really good. It was the best video game adaptation I've ever seen of Wolfenstein, and it really wasn't much about Wolfenstein, but it was like soldiers going and infiltrating a Nazi base where they were experimenting on fucking soldiers, and it's fun.
That's supposed to be a Cloverfield tie-in, right?
It was. I wanted to talk to you about that because I know me and you have been, kind of on board with the whole Bad Robot Cloververse. I think Paradox kind of knocked the whole thing off orbit because when they saw Overlord, they were like, no, we don't want to tarnish Overlord with the Cloverfield brand, unfortunately, because this movie...
So there's no Cloverfield stuff?
No Cloverfield stuff in it. Nope.
The fuck?
Yeah, they decided... Because, I feel like it's the Cloverfield bump. That's kind of what they did with 10 Cloverfield Lane to get people in to see it. Maybe they did it with Cloverfield Paradox, and with Overlord... That you seen the trailer, that extended fucking plane crash scene at the beginning. It's like one of those real trendy one-shot takes or, one-shot things.
I'm a sucker for those.
Oh, that's fantastic. And they do it extremely well. And technically it's a really well-done movie. But at the end of the day, you walk out of it and it's like you just played a first-person shooter or some shit. There's not like a lot of subtext or something like that,
I'm glad it's a good movie, but at the same point in time, I want Cloverfield shit.
I know. No, I'm with you, man.
Go.
I'm with you. I want them to retcon that last fucking debacle, though. Did we talk about that? Did you like Paradox?
I mean, I wasn't... I liked...
Yes,
the
dude.
pieces
Admit
I grabbed of
it. Just admit it, man. You loved it. It's your favorite movie.
No. But I'm trying to get past okay, yeah, no, I didn't really like some of these characters, and some of the shit that was going on was kind of nuts. But then the more I kind of read into the science part of it, or science fiction part of it, really, it's like, oh, so this is a different dimension. So there was a phase shift in dimensions, and that explains why dude's puking up earthworms, and that explains why So the more I kind of went into that, I was like, okay, I see what they were trying to do. I also see why it didn't get made into a motion picture that was released in theaters.
When you say the science thing, that actually speaks to me because there were so many things. I'm like, how the fuck did that thing, that important computer component, end up inside that dude? Oh, wait,
yeah.
How did that arm end up inside that wall? And it's like you said, it's like two different universes converge on each other and restructure the molecular layout of shit. But then it almost broke its own rules in that sense, too. There were a couple times I was like, oh, this is fucking neat. And it was kind of funny, too. I really like Chris O'Dowd because I've been watching Get Shorty, which is a fucking really good show if you hadn't seen that.
I was a huge IT Crowd fan.
Oh, yeah. He's good, man. He's very good.
Yeah.
What else have I been watching? Haunting on Hill House. You seen that one yet?
Everyone's been telling me. I don't know. I'm kind of. We did a lot of. We've been Halloweening since.
Oh, I know you have.
September.
And so are you Halloweened out? Is that what you're trying to tell me?
A little, as soon, and granted, yeah, I'm wearing an Ash vs. Evil Dead shirt, drinking out of my Halloween Horror Nights mug right now.
Yeah, I don't believe that I've ever seen you actually be over horror in Halloween.
I'm not completely over. In fact, we watched Krampus 2 nights ago, and I sent you a ridiculously long text message about my theory about Krampus. I will say, as soon as Halloween night was over, Christmas mode. We've been,
you are the worst.
No. We made, you should see, we have a list. Me and Katie sat down and we wrote a list of movies and Christmas episodes that we want to watch. And every night we're scratching another one off the list. We're going down. It's full on Christmas mode now.
Did you check it twice?
So, I'm just going to skip over that. So, The Haunting on Hill House.
Yeah.
I've had it recommended to me by a lot of people, and I really want to watch it, but I'm just like, let me put that away for right now.
You're not in the mode right now.
Yeah, I'm glad to know I've got something to look forward to when in January.
It's not exactly the feel-good movie of the year, for sure, or a TV show, but I think you'll really enjoy it. I missed Stranger Things this year, man. Wish
Oh
that was
yeah,
out, you
right.
know?
Katie was watching Sabrina. She at first we tried to watch the first episode and I quit. Um, I didn't feel like there was any reason for me to give a crap about any of the main characters, so I
Uh-huh.
immediately stopped.
Uh-huh.
But she trudged through. She soldiered it out, but she was into it by the third or fourth episode. They got her back into it.
It was about 6:15, and I was getting ready to start setting up to call you, and Victoria put on episode 1 of Sabrina, and I was watching it, and I'm like, man, fuck this shit. And then within like 30 minutes, I was like, I don't know, this could maybe be all right.
Usually the pilot episode is the one that hooks you.
Uh-huh.
They're going a different direction.
Yeah, yeah. They're like,
Or you think you watch the pilot episode and you think, did I miss a season?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. Yeah, I haven't ever seen Riverdale either, though, and apparently that was a big thing for people.
I'm not. Yeah, I don't know.
It's like based on the Archie comics of all fucking
Yeah.
things.
Not my deal though.
No. I guess it's because we're adult men. I mean, sort of. I guess that might be a stretch for me, but you know what I mean.
Like age-wise, yes. Maturity, no.
So, yeah, I don't know what else has been going on, man. Anything fun, exciting happening in your life?
Just
Don't fucking say living the dream, dude. Don't
staying
you
weird,
see
staying feared.
Good. That's what I'm talking about. So,
Yeah, we went to, like I said, the opening weekend of Halloween Horror Nights, we were there.
uh-huh.
That was nuts again this year.
Recap it, man. What was some of the highlights to you? What was the worst? What was the best?
They had one that you would have absolutely loved. It was a house called Cinema Massacre. It was spelled with an S instead of a. You get it.
Uh-huh.
But and it was basically the whole house. You walk through these fake B-80s horror movies that they had created, and there was trailers for, as you're standing in line, there's trailers for these fake horrible horror movies that they had created that are playing, and like it was completely campy. I loved every second of it. But each room you walk into with a different fake movie. One was like, you walk, it looks like you're on like one of the old Star Trek sets from Mars, and it was called Cannibal Amazons from Hell.
Oh,
or
that
something
sounds
like that,
great.
in outer space.
That sounds great.
And so I don't know, like that was probably one of my favorite ones just because it was funny. The Michael Myers house, it wasn't. It was Michael Myers Halloween 4. I was like, why are you?
Wait, Halloween 4 was the one that they used for inspiration.
Yeah, they didn't use the new Halloween movie coming out.
Shit.
So, yeah.
Well, that sounds awesome. I wish I would have gone. I to tell you the truth, I just hadn't talked to you as much lately, man. That's great that you were able to go check it out. Any new rides that you were into?
No, I went on there are new rides, but none that I was into.
Okay, what
I went
happened?
on the Fast and Furious ride, and it was just I thought it was crap.
Yeah, was it Fast or Furious?
Well, look, it's obstructed view. They just shove you in this tram, and this screen, so they act like this is what's happening, but like they shove you like 8 or 9 people at a time in one seat. So like if you're in the middle like I was, I can't see what's going on the screens.
Oh, lame. Yeah, I see what you're saying.
At one point, like, so if you're on the sides, you're getting a full effect. Like, the rocks like spitting in your face, and the next thing you know, it's an explosion. Like, explosion knocked one of Katie's contacts out of her eyes. Like,
oh shit, that's for real.
I was like, this is the worst thing. And like I'm sitting there, I'm outside of it going, you guys replaced 3 attractions to make this.
That's something though that is symptomatic of several different rides. I can't think of good examples right now, but like Jaws, for example. If you're sitting in the middle of the boat, man, you're like, what the fuck's going on? I don't even know. What shark? I can't see a shark. Remember Jaws? That was a thing.
Yeah. Well, I will say with Jaws, at least they had, or like when different times Jaws attack, they tried to make it at different, to some degree, different sides of the boat.
Yes, yeah. So everybody got a little piece of the action.
Like the screens made it look like you were moving, so you just sat still.
That sounds like a lame ride.
It was not great.
That sounds like a lame ride.
But yeah, I was like, you replaced Beetlejuice for this. Like I know Beetlejuice is lame and it was a rock show and everything, but still.
It's sentimental attachment. So
we did pay respect to Bruce. We did pay respect to Jaws when we were there.
Oh, good.
They still have the shark hanging behind one of the restaurants.
What'd you do, dude?
Oh, we always, like, me and my little sisters, we're all nuts about it. So we all go and we put our hand up on it, and, you know, we tell him how great he was.
Oh, good. You diddle his, I don't know what you call a shark penis, but you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I couldn't reach.
That's a big shark, man. It's a big shark.
Yeah, it's a huge shark.
So, all right, dude, let's get crazy with some Game of Thrones predictions, and then I'll let you get off the phone. You're caught up, right? You've seen every fucking episode. Yes. Let's see. So we're coming into season 8 in April, I think was the news that just came out. We got our first picture of Jon Snow and Daenerys on Entertainment Weekly, and we found out at the end of the last season that potentially Cersei is pregnant. Jon and Dany are actually both Targaryen niece and nephew. What else is going on? Jaime's on his way back to Winterfell to try to fight on the side of the living. The Night King just now breached the wall. Bran and Sam know what's going on. So
Night King's got a dragon.
Night King's got a dragon. Melisandre's over in is it Volantis, trying to figure out how to get with the rest of the Red Priest and the what are they called? The people the Red Women. I don't know. I'm not going to be able to think of all of this stuff. So we got a whole lot of gears set in motion. A lot of primary characters we're going to have to wrap up. Obviously, we've heard there's going to be a bittersweet ending. Is Arya making it out of Game of Thrones?
What'd you say? I'm sorry.
Is Arya making it out of Game of Thrones?
No.
Okay.
Because everyone wants her to.
See.
And that's how he turns the knife. That's how he gets you.
Yeah, this is true. I think Arya really kind of took over the role of Lady Stoneheart. Like, she has no real purpose after in this world. Like, she was a tool of vengeance against the Freys and the fucking Lannisters. And once she's done, I think her arc's kind of complete. She could end up with Gendry, though. I don't know. Is Brienne of Tarth going to end up making it out of the show?
Maybe. I mean, like, I don't think anybody's gonna make it. I think everybody's gonna.
You think everybody's gonna die?
Like, I feel like if I just go along with that and I expect the worst, I'm gonna be pleasantly surprised.
All right. So, is Bran the Night King?
That would be interesting.
It's a cool fan theory.
I feel like they don't even know. Like, I'm sure they're telling us it's done. Like, I don't believe that. I think they're changing the scripts right now.
They're trying to figure it out as we go. Reading Reddit forums, free folk on there.
They gotta
like
have their script, and then they gotta have the 20 decoy scripts they send out.
Yeah. Jon Snow, is he gonna sit the Iron Throne?
No, I don't think so. Only because I want him to.
So what if it ended up being Cersei, just the most ruthless, cold-blooded Game of Thrones playing bitch in the entire show? What if she ended up just ruling a kingdom of ashes at the end of the show? Would that be a fulfilling ending?
I mean, it depends. Like, I got a feeling there's gonna be a lot of I don't know, Cersei playing politics in the garden. And Cersei trying to play politics while she's staring down an army of undead are going to be two different things.
It's a very good point.
So we're going to see a lot. Like, if we can see, like, in a battle, we can see Cersei step up and be the queen bitch that she's been saying she is since season 1. Then make it happen.
She's at a great disadvantage.
Why I like her.
Yeah. She could play everybody, though. She could get the Golden Company and all of the fucking King's Landing soldiers to go and join the battle at Winterfell, which is where I think it's probably going to go down first. And then after they wipe out the army of the dead, Cersei could just be like, well, now I'm turning all these fucking soldiers on you. But as long as Daenerys has got dragons, dude, there's no fucking way. Like, she is so, like, the deck is stacked in her favor so much that we're at least...
she's got 2 dragons now.
Yeah. And
we've seen what can happen to that dragon.
They're vulnerable. They're definitely vulnerable.
And so, I mean, it's still a really good really good chips for her to have, but at the same point in time, it's not going to be everything anymore like it was.
Is Tyrion going to betray Daenerys because he thinks that Cersei's pregnant?
I don't know. They kind of hates. It's like I don't know. Like I'm at the point now, and I've given you absolutely nothing for this conversation here, and I apologize.
I'm not done. I'm gonna keep fucking with you.
I'm at the point now to where I'm like, show me.
Yeah.
Like they've bought my trust. They've done that. They've kept me interested. Even in some of the dragging seasons, but this last season, I'm just like, holy crap! Like, they're telling. What do they guess? What do they say? The next season's only going to be like 4 episodes. Is that still the thing?
6 1.5-hour episodes directed by the best. So I'm
expecting a war in each episode.
Yeah. Oh, it's gonna be so good. It's gonna be so good. Is Jaime going to kill Cersei Lannister?
Probably.
He's got to, right? I mean, that's fucking poetic justice.
Or she's gonna kill him.
That would be subversion of expectations, and definitely George R.R. Martin is known for that.
Jaime the Killer, he's great fighting, but he's really stupid when it comes to all the other things. That includes his sister.
Jesus Christ. So. He's an idiot. Okay. Is Jon Snow and Dany going to have a child at the end of the series? Regardless if they live or die, are they going to have a kid at the end of the series?
I don't know. The last one didn't turn out so well for her.
Yeah.
So,
it's that dark magic, blood magic.
I think maybe they'll, like I said, like I expect the worst. So I think they'll announce that she's with child, and then like that's like 2 frames before we see her get stabbed in the gut.
The Lannisters send their regards.
Bad dragon. Yeah, some shit.
Well, I know I'm looking forward to it. Naomi Watts has been cast as a socialite in the prequel, which is called The Long Night. It takes place 10,000 years before the events of Game of Thrones and tells us the story that we thought we knew. So I'm pretty interested in this.
Who's she playing? Does they have said who?
Specifically, no. I mean, looking at her, she looks like a Lannister, but it's so long ago that she could be an Andal, I think that most of the Targaryens are descendants of the fucking Andals in the first minute. I'm making shit up now to make me sound smart, but then some actual Game of Thrones fan is going to be like, dude, what the fuck are you talking about? Point is, I think we're going to find out that the Starks were some assholes back 10,000 years ago, and it kind of goes back to our thing. Is like, and that's what's beautiful about George R.R. Martin is he doesn't write heroes and villains for the most part. Every character has flaws. They make decisions that make them human, and even people that we love, like Tyrion, has done some fucking horrible shit. You know what I mean? Jon is pretty much the only one in the entire series that hasn't done anything like really that compromised his morality, I don't think.
What? Yeah, I guess so. But he did kill that kid, but that kid kind of had it coming.
Ollie was a little fucking punk bitch, dude. I would have killed Ollie just... he wouldn't even have to stab me. Me watching him stab Jon Snow, I would have fucking stabbed him. Yeah, I mean, his whole family was murdered and probably eaten by wildlings, but he had it coming, dude.
If I'm living at the wall and I see the little punk bitch running around, I'm just gonna walk over to establish dominance and just be like, "Don't go to sleep."
You lift him up. No, you just show him the dire wolf, man. That should always work really well.
You won't wake back up.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I'm excited about it. It's when I think about TV shows, though. With the exception of like Breaking Bad, it's like, man, that was such a good TV show. That last season, though, man, it really fucking ruined everything.
And they're getting a movie.
Who?
Right? Breaking Bad.
Oh yeah, that's news. I totally forgot about that. They're making is it a Jesse prequel movie? I don't know what it is. That sounds interesting. I'm into that.
As far as my knowledge of that, I've just been seeing all the pop-ups saying, yes, they're getting one. Everyone seems very excited.
Well, I just now found out a way that you can gain 4 inches in 2 weeks on this pop-up ad. Never mind. We'll skip that for
right now.
Download. All right, well, anyways, dude, Houston, it's been fun, man. We don't do this enough. We don't do
We
this
will.
enough. We will do this more. Hell yeah, man.
Pensacon starts now.
Yeah, absolutely. And we'll be in touch, pinging some ideas off of each other. In the meantime, if you guys enjoyed this video, do me a favor, take just a second, smash that little thumbs up button right there. Really helps my self-esteem. And to the 4 of you that are watching this show, I really appreciate your support. Head over and check out the Patreon page. And until next time, and on behalf of me and Houston, be terrible. Bye.